All right, brand new 6384 motor there. I'll get my snap ring pliers. This makes it a lot easier. You can do it without these and just using regular ones. And you pop that off. All right. Now, got my snap ring pliers there. All right, so now you got this little gold. It looks just like this. This little gold washer. And you can kind of try to pry it out there. I found the easiest thing is just kind of break it apart a little bit. Just kind of play with it for just a second. It'll kind of loosen it up. As you can see, it kind of slid up there a little bit. And then you can just kind of reach on there. And then just kind of nice and easy. These are very like a brass washer, so you don't want to be too crazy with it if you're trying to save it. And that comes off. And that's the only two things holding it on. But first, we're just going to go ahead and rip this apart. And it's just going to take some force. All right, and now slide off. Then you got your rotor. Nothing special about it. So now we got this part. Now we got our rotor here. And you got two bearings and like a spacer in there on this side. Two small 6800 bearings. And then you got the 6900, and that's the size. All right. Then once we have that, I don't have my extension up here, we'll probably go grab. But most of the time, these top bearings, I always take that out first. And you just kind of slide something in there and kind of just tap it, and it'll come out, and let's see it out. And it'll just kind of tap out there. You know, sometimes these are in there a little bit harder, but I'm not tapping it that hard and just pop. And then these ones right here. So just find whatever size fits through the other side. All right, so I got just this is all 1/4-inch ratchet stuff. It's just an 8mm. And then these two bearings. So again, I'm not going to reuse these bearings, but I'm not putting I'm not hitting them very hard at all. I'm not taking a hammer. I'm literally just kind of using my hand and popping it in there. So I'm just going to stick it in there, and then you can see it'll just kind of catch the edge, but it'll catch a pretty good amount of the surface area. And it's not going to damage these bearings, I don't think. Now somebody's probably going to yell at me, but again, I'm just going to kind of lightly tap, and you'll see them start coming out. I'm barely tapping these things because they're not put in there extremely well. And you'll see the first one's about to pop out now. See how it's just barely coming out? But again, I'm just kind of barely tap. There you go. There's the first one, and then there's one more right behind it. All right, and I'm just going to kind of keep tapping. There it goes. Just pops right out. And then inside here, you can see, just pull that little one out. Send you a link. But now we just need to, I'm going to try, because I don't think these are glued on very well. I'm literally just going to hold this with a glove. I'm going to stick another socket in here that fits to this shaft. So this black, the part right down in there is part of this black housing. So you just need something that mates up the same size, and then literally just beat the snot out of it, and this whole thing will pop off. And I'm gonna go do that downstairs so I can beat it on the concrete. Worst case, I'll have to take the heat gun and I'll just kind of heat this up in here, just to, if there is glue in there. One thing, be careful. You can see this is slotted. There's a little slot right here, and then there's a small little pin that you'll lose if you don't know it's there on the inside. It keeps the alignment of it. But I'm gonna go downstairs and beat this thing, and I'll bring you with me. All right, so I'm gonna try it because I've had success without heating it up. I got and this is what, a 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch socket here with a 1/2 inch and an extension. I'm just literally gonna shove it in there. I'm gonna hold the magnets, the stator or whatever that you want to know, and then I'm just gonna slam it on the ground holding this, and this should pop out. We'll see. I might have to heat this up, but we're gonna give it a shot. I know some people are gonna scream at me for probably doing this, but it works. So now I'm just holding it and I'm just smacking it. Pretty good force here. Remember that pin's in there. And you can see, let's see if it's actually coming apart. There it goes. So now it's already coming apart. And now I'm just gonna give it a couple more smacks. And there's that pin You get a good shot around there. So there's a little pin here. You do not want to lose that. All right, so that goes in there. But then once we have that, now this can just kind of, we'll figure that out later, but you can just pull this out. I end up cutting these off anyways because you put bigger wires on it. That's how you take it apart. One last thing for all those people that are going to say what I'm doing is wrong. There's literally no damage. Again, because I'm using a socket that fits that pretty perfectly. Now, if you have a bearing removal tool or some kind of removal tool, you can see there's like there's no glue on this really.